Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about that. Starting a minute or two late here. Let me see here. We have a few pre-submitted questions. You got Will here today. Let me see. Will, are you on? Can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming through loud and clear.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, so let me get to my pre-submitted questions. I think we have a question for Brian. See, Angel's got a question, but I don't see Angel on, and then I see Brian here. All right, so this is a question from Brian. Let me put this in the chat. Brian, I'm gonna let you talk if you feel so inclined. You can come off mute. You have a question about how to put grids into vertical stacks?
Yes. So we have a form that's and we like it's like kind of built off of a vertical stack basically, and we have a
Okay.
bunch of different like grid layouts inserted into the vertical stack. And we have like a bunch of active form flows to like show and hide different grid layouts, and we built it out in a vertical stack so that there's not like weird white space. Well, we're still like figuring out, like we're still like we have like requirements that are getting added to this form, and we need to add more grid layouts to like in between certain grid layouts. And I was wondering if there's an easy way to do that, because I was like trying for a little bit yesterday, and it like when I was trying to drag a grid layout in, it would like get inserted into a grid layout that already exists instead of
Mm.
stacking the layouts in the vertical stack.
Yeah, let's see. So let's put a vertical stack in here. And then you're dragging a grid in, right?
Yeah,
And there's two of them already, right? And you're trying to go in between them.
yeah,
Mm, I
and it's because we have a lot of the grids, like so we can't just like we have like 20 grids honestly in the vertical stack.
right. So that's at the grid level. Hmm. Admittedly, this should be easier. Is there just, oh, what was that? What did I just do? There we go. I don't know that we give you any easy way to do this today. Let's just put some colors in here so we can try to differentiate these things a little bit better. Okay, so this guy here. Nope. I think dragging down. I don't think. I think the only way to do this right now, which and I say this with all humility, is like to keep dragging to the bottom and then
Uh,
do like a terrible sort, right? Like you just kind of like,
yeah,
so like, hey, like I need to get, like, let's say, I need to get my purple on top, right? Well, I gotta, I can. It's like playing that game at like freaking what is it? Oh man, whatever. Some, yeah, restaurant whose name is escaping me in the current moment. I think that's about as good as you can do because it wants to just put it in.
yeah,
There's no actions on it. I can select a parent. Once I've selected the parent, though, it doesn't let me select any of the objects inside of it. I
yeah.
don't have I don't have any controls here on the layout. Yeah, I don't think we've made the adding of rows inside of it very easy here at all.
Okay. How do we? So our vertical stack, like I've been trying to expand it,
Mm-hmm.
and it like won't expand because like it's already like really long. Is there a way to like make like expand it in an easy way?
It should grow to the size, like it should add scroll bars, I think. Yeah, you're not getting,
But yeah, so I'm getting the scroll bars, but like so like our situation is like that, right? We have a scroll bar, but now because so like our whole vertical stack is packed with grid layouts.
mhm.
Yeah, so when then expand the whole floor, the vertical stack expands with it. So it's hard to grow the vertical stack in a way that I can also easily add a grid layout to the bottom.
Got it. Oh man, that's, oof, that's terrible. What if I go into the, so this is the parent, here's row. Maybe we could set an arbitrary length on this thing. Let me come down here and get rid of this. And let's see. Maybe we can make it arbitrarily long, like force it to be long and then edit it later. So like here, let me make the row like, I don't know, 1,000 or 10,000. It seems excessive, right? And then I'll just do 1 star here. And then that gives me a ton of room to play with.
And that's the vertical stack?
That's the vertical, I think. So I could bring some more grid layouts in here.
Okay, got it.
Arbitrarily, I mean, admittedly, I'm not enjoying telling you any of these sort of things I'm doing, but this will work. You do this, right? And then
Yeah.
come back to your vertical stack, right? And you select it and then select its parent. Or here, let's use Explorer and we'll go back to our root container here. And then I can come here and I could change this back 1 star. And this was like, I don't know, like 30 or something, or 30. And now I've got a huge number of stacks. So you use a static height to grow it, lets you
Yeah.
slam some in the bottom or whatever, and then reset back to your dynamic sizing or or whatever, your sort of more default length, something like that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, and then we have a question here from Angel. Let me put, so Angel, let me see here. How to retrieve URL from a JSON data structure string. How to download a PDF document from a URL.
Yeah, basically yeah, I've got a URL that I'm returning, and inside there, it's a JSON structure, and inside it there is a URL. So I need to to extract that URL out, and then also then go in to that URL and download that document. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so if you don't, the normal way would be to create like a data type, like a flow structure, and do like and deserialize the JSON coming back from your API step. If you don't
Okay.
want to do that, there are JSON steps like get JSON by path or get JSON path from value, Why are there so many things showing up with JSON? Let me see here. I mean, sorry, I'm using an unreleased one. An in progress version. So let me look at data. Do I have data JSON? Yeah. So get value from JSON by name. So if you pass in your JSON text and then the property name, your URL should come out the back of this step as a string. And then you can use that downstream in the flow if you wanted to.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do. And ironically, and then I was using a rest step to like go in and go into the URL.
Mm-hmm.
With the rest step, if I hard code the URL,
Mm-hmm.
then I have a view download. And so basically, it's if I hard code the URL into the rest step and then download, it accesses it, it goes to the URL appropriately and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then when I use this step for the JSON to pull the actual URL out,
Mm-hmm.
it's not recognizing it.
Is it throwing you like a bad format error or something?
Yeah, it's a 402.
Let's see here. Let's grab this isn't even, what is this nonsense? It's giving me a simple JSON object. Okay, here we go. We'll use this as our JSON object. So here's our string. Let's use JSON minify.
But if I use a simple get HTML or was it HTML, I think. Hold on. If I use a simple get or HTTP,
Mm-hmm.
it does recognize it from the JSON URL.
I'm sorry, what's the step that you're referring to there?
Let me hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Because it doesn't make sense to me why if I hard code it works and it recognizes it, but it doesn't otherwise. So I have to get,
yeah.
I have to get value by name, yeah. And then if I go into my subflow, download file from the the URL. But if I use and that's where it's like, yeah, it's just a get.
You're talking about the rest step?
HTTP, the get HTTP. Yeah, sorry.
Why is this not working? Well, that's actually, let me see here.
So it's trying to verify if if it was reading the URL correctly. And it is.
Okay.
If I use the get HTTP, it recognizes the URL from the JSON structure and it doesn't throw that error.
Oh, here we go. So here's the output. I wonder if we're keeping like quotes on the data that's coming back after we get it. That's my first thought here. So what I want to do is see what this looks like if I added if I map this string coming out of this step here. Let's try this really quick. Looks fine. There might be some kind of encoding thing. There are like URL encode steps. Like, all right, let me search for encode. You might have to, well, if I spelled that right. B60 URL encode text. You might try this step.
What's that mean?
it's just like you uh, changing like the way the characters are like handled by the computer. There's
Oh,
like
okay.
a certain encoding. You might pass it. You might pass your output here to this step and just give it a try.
Okay.
That's a bit of a guess right now. But there's likely some issue if you're putting if the step is giving you back the same apparent text value. At least that's what it looks like when you like in the debugger. You might
Right.
try encoding it, see if that makes any difference or not. If not, might need support's help to help troubleshoot why it's behaving why it's behaving differently for you.
Well, that was going to be my next step. So I was like, well, let me try this first and see.
Yeah, hopefully this works.
Okay, I
Bit of a
did.
guess on my part. So
Yeah, and it sounds like you're kind of having the same stump that my boss and I were having yesterday.
mhm.
But yeah, because I actually was like, I was trying to double check the string to make sure it didn't have any white characters or anything like
Right,
that too.
right.
Which it didn't seem to as well. So, um, okay, so I'll try that URL encode, see what that does, and then if not, I'll put in a support ticket.
Okay,
All right. Well, I appreciate your help.
you bet.
Thanks.
Okay, and all right, Radley, you're up next, sir. What do we got for you?
Hey, Will. So I'm trying to create a new custom case view for my case entities, but I want to model it or use some of the items in the default view.
Okay.
Just curious, where can I go out finding that
Oh yeah,
default
just
view?
you're gonna. I think if you just search for let's see, default case page, case editor page, default case page here. Find this guy. Use open containing folder. Yours will be under manage open containing folder. It's going to take you deep in the belly of the system defaults here. Then you can scroll down, find that page, default case page. You know, more copy. Yours will be under somewhere else. Edit, maybe copy. Copy it.
Okay,
Create the copy. Then you can move it to wherever you want to after that. Just double
awesome.
check that you change its project association from decisions core to whatever your current project is.
Very good. And then how do I go about setting that as the new case view on this case entity that I'm working with?
And then you were going to go to your configuration folder, create page, add existing page, name it, pick your page, right? And then put the order here. Order 0 means it'll render like left first,
Okay.
right? So you add it here, and then you can use page visibility rules to hide as much of this other stuff as you might want from your other case. So like you got your case view, your
Yeah.
custom page, runtime case. You can hide default case view and runtime case with those page visibility rules.
Okay. That's the only way to do that. There's no just turn that off. It's all through visibility rules.
Yeah, correct. You got to write do have to write a rule for that.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
You bet. All right, and then Jace is up next. I'll let you speak. So when I show our debugger form, I'm taken to the bottom of the form and I need to scroll up to see the top. Wondering if this is a bug or a setting I can control. This sounds like a bug, Jace. What version are you currently working on?
Hi, sorry, I'm like in another call. Is there anybody else in line with a
Yeah, there's some
question?
more questions. Yep.
Okay, can you just come back to me in one other question?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No worries. All right, so next up is Mark. I'll let you to talk, Mark, here. How can I effectively create ERD diagrams for my data structures, creating decisions? If I connect to my PostgreSDB directly, I can see decisions creates individual tables for each data structure. Can I use these tables to create ERD diagrams? This is not something we have in the tool today, but it's something we're looking to add for sure. Right now, you might want to go to like SQL Management Studio type views if you want to create those yourself. There's no ERD generation concept in our tools today, but that's something we're trying to add in the next couple months based on some customer feedback.
So I actually tried to use the PG admin to access the tables directly.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I came across is that the diagrams I receive, they don't have any foreign keys attached to it. So basically, it's a list of tables with their attributes, but I don't see any connections between the two. So I don't see any relations. So I wonder if these are if the relations are somehow maintained by decisions internally, or
Yeah.
how does this effectively work?
Yeah, can you give me an example of something you're looking at so maybe I could talk through it a little bit? Like what's the data types that you've created and how are they related to one another?
Well, it will be hard, but basically we have two large objects and they have multiple tables connected to it through the sort of relationship. And when I generate the ERD, I don't see these relationships. Essentially, I see the tables individually. If I actually generate ERD diagrams for anything that has relations on it, like not our data structures, they will be visible. So ERDs are working correctly. So I'm just wondering
I see.
what's the
Yeah, we
am I
don't
doing
actually
something
use proper foreign keys necessarily when we create the relationship. So like you have like let me create like a database structure here called parent type. So you're using decisions data structure designer to create parent
Yeah,
child relationships.
yeah.
Yeah, so parent type here, this would be, and then let me create a type here called child type. I can tell you how they're related to one another, but likely unless you might have to explicitly you might have to notate the relationships here explicitly. But I
Right.
created child and parent. I'm going to edit parent and I'm going to put child as a property inside of parent.
Yep.
Yeah, and then save this.
It will be nice to have these relations because obviously something like PG admin, they will sort of build a nice visuals for you.
Right. Yeah. Fair. Yeah. It's something that we definitely think we're working to improve in the first half of this year. But if I go ahead and create a parent type object here, just do build data and then build data. And then I'll just put some, parents. I'll say this is the parent string. Child string. And then let me run that thing. And then what I'm going to do is go to the query editor here. Yours is going to be under other, but we have a query editor you can right click and get to from the designer folders. Now here, if I search for parent, it'll give me, if I search for parent, there's my parent type and I can select all, and you're going to see what it's going to tell me is it's going to include the relationship information for the child type in the parent. Like here's this is the type name and that's the ID of the child object. So we save on the parent, we save the ID of the child in a one-to-one. It's the reverse for one-to-many. In one-to-many, we save the ID of the parent on the child. So depending on the relationship type, you might
So is there a reason why you don't utilize the foreign keys? And is there any performance implication I may expect from it?
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why we don't use proper foreign keys. That predates me, even though I've been here for quite some time. Fair question.
Is there anywhere I can find out more about these things?
Yes. This is probably something. This is the call where we would want to be able to answer that for you. That's what I'd love is if you could shoot me an email, I can get you in contact with your customer success manager and make sure that they can help us get an answer for you for that.
That's perfect.
I don't think there's any performance implications here. We've got customers using these patterns in large data use cases. But as to the particular why we don't do it, like that I'm unsure of. If we did it for a very specific reason at some point when we were creating our ORM, I'm uncertain.
Yeah. Just
But
thinking
my
of
email is will@decisions.com. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
From the database design world, it just seems like these relationships may help you out with, I would say, with all kinds of lookups. They would speed things up a little bit. But yeah, I will be interested to find out more. So I'll definitely send you an email.
Yeah, if you could just email me will@decisions.com, I'd be happy to figure out who your CSM is and have them help us get an answer for you because I'd like to learn more about that myself.
All right. Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, you bet. Happy to help. And then back to Jace. What do we have? Oh, sorry. What do we have for you?
Yeah, so when I'm in a flow or I'm debugging or anything, I'm showing this form and it always just pulls me down to the bottom when I open it and I have to scroll up to the top.
What version are you working on?
Oh man. How can I see what version it is?
Yeah, there should be a person icon in the top right-hand corner of the studio. You click that and go to About. It'll give you the platform version information there.
8.12.1.
Okay. This just sounds like a bug. Yeah, you shouldn't have to do this. This sounds like a bug.
Okay.
Could
Okay.
be that we fixed this in a newer version, uncertain, but we would really need support's help. I think if you just put that note in a support ticket, someone
Okay.
can figure out if it's fixed or if we need to get a new issue in for the dev team to get it fixed for you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you should not have to do that. That sounds bad. That sounds terrible.
Okay. Can you remind me the support email?
Yeah,
It's
support@decisions.com.
support@decisions.com.
Yep. And they'll generate a ticket for you and take it from there. If you just say
Okay.
like a general description of what you're doing.
Okay. Perfect. Will do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, that's all of our questions for today. Anybody else have anything? All right, that's everything. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day. And tomorrow you've got, I believe, Mr. Rodriguez, our training team manager. So appreciate everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you next week.